Tivia's presentation, she questioned the largest laser tag in America. It is at this time the Edge in Belleville, Illinois. Stratum shut down due to COVID. Their arena is approximately 17,000 square feet. They run 100 laser tag packs. It's a dark light system, dark light V5. Keith and Mary Shell probably will be here at the show. They've done it incredibly well. They started out just as a laser tag in this little suburb outside of St. Louis, and since then they've grown quite large to the point they've added a movie theater, a sports bar, a full-scale restaurant. Let me recommend the Alfredo Pizza, and it's an incredible facility. It was interesting to see a lot of Tivia's photos. I've been to a number of the sites. Some of the sites I haven't been to. You don't have to spend a lot of money to be like crazy brilliant, like to create an experience or a model. I say that and I spend a lot of money on my arena. Wait, is Lathan in the room before I say that? No, okay, good. I can honestly tell you that a memorable arena that I ever visited, I was in Zwanenburg, Holland. Now I'm of the generation where the Russians were bad. Sorry, Peter. But the Russians were bad. We all thought they were going to go to war and all that silliness. But anyways, I play at this strangely an Intersphere site. I talk about like laser acts. But I played at this Intersphere site, and I got the pack on, and I go whipping around a corner with the pack, and there in the middle arena is a Russian MiG fighter. And I was like, holy hell. And they had taken the neon tape and they'd done up the edges and they put a little alien inside the cockpit with laser beams coming out of his eyes. And there's a full-scale Russian. Now, again, I am that generation that was very impressive all the way around. So I got talking to the owners and I said, oh my gosh, how did you get a Russian MiG fighter? And they said, oh, it was easy, Russia. They were selling off all their weapons, and we could buy it. I said, well, what'd you pay for it? And they said, 50,000 kroners. This is before the introduction of the euro. And I said, okay, 50 cents to the kroner, 25,000 US dollars. How did you get it here? They, it's easy, we put it on a train. You know? I'm like, man, that is just the coolest idea. You just buy a Russian MiG fighter from the Russian military, stick it on a train, and just send it across Europe. Put it into a laser tag arena. By the way, if you're ever in Zondenberg, it's still there. It is still there. I just checked on it 6 months ago. So it's a place called Silverstone. It's a beautiful facility. Go-kart, the Dutch, they love go-karting for some reason. So anyways, so it doesn't take a lot. Mike here, I've known for way too many years. I haven't had enough strokes to forget you yet. And but at his arena, way back in the day, they used to have these alien tentacles hanging from the ceiling that would just rip and just move all about the place. Sounds cool on theory. Maintenance. Sucked, right? He's got one saved for my museum anyways though. But it was really cool when you played the game and these, you go in this like demon head or monster head, whatever you want to call it. Worm, yeah, type thing, And it had little lasers coming out of its eyes. It was really cool. Like all that stuff was really, yeah, it would. Yeah, it would definitely attack you. But it sounds cool, but it was behind a cage, and they have in their arena, still have the fan? No, I love the fan. So anyway, so they used to have a fan that was about 7 foot tall, 7 foot wide. They put the fogger on one side, and they would fog the whole arena with this giant fan that literally made the whoop, 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 whoop sound, right? It was so cool. It was just an experience. And they've had laser tag, gosh, since 94, 96 or something like that. Yeah, 96. Yeah, because I've known the owner of your site for all that many years. So anyway, so it doesn't take a lot, to be really honest. A lot of you may have purchased a stock arena from one of the arena building companies, and that's great. It's a good platform. Tivia actually made a reference to a facility I don't remember now, but she said it had good bones and that they were able to renovate after about 5 years. And so it doesn't take, because really when you buy from arena company, those arena guys as a whole, wait, let me make sure none of the arena guys are in the arena before I do this, but to your project, just one more of multiples that they've just done, right? And understand, that's what you bought. You purposely went to those guys and you're like, hey, you've done this a million times. Give me the millionth and one arena that you've done, right? But you can then enhance it and move it and just do more with it. I visited Kevin and Bronwyn a couple years back in the corner there, and Kevin had gone crazy with DMX sound, lighting sound, light and sound. And it made for a great game, just the beginning of and he Laser Force at that time, Gen 7, right? I believe when I visited you. And so he had gone one step beyond what he got. He got what he bought from Laser Force, totally happy, upgraded Gen 8 not too long ago, completely satisfied with the product line. But he did more than what came out of the box. So that is something that it really takes for most operators, is that you're going to get the box delivered to you, whatever it may be, the latest equipment or latest arena, and then you can just go one step further. And that's kind of what made a lot of Tibias stand out. So then the challenge question ultimately for you is, when you guys go back, what is it that sets you apart? And today, in a lot of markets, you have competition. I've been doing this for a long time, and it used to be that you didn't have competition in your market. Today, a lot of you guys have competition. So and especially if you got the same kind of arena, maybe a different theme from the same arena building company, right? I haven't visited Jarrett's site in a long time, but Jarrett back here is an old friend of mine as well. We played in his arena, and he's got these incredible ramps that go up, and they're steep. You get, if you don't have calves, just go play at Jarrett's arena. Look, he's got calves right now. He's wearing shorts to show off those legs. So, but you can go in and you can do a lot more than just what comes out of the box. You bought the box, that's great, that's wonderful, but there's more than you guys can do to it. Light, sound, in a lot of ways. So, did you talk about Peter's arena?
Oh yeah, you were in a picture in that one.
I came in halfway, I apologize. We had a great time. What he did with his carpet was, I know you're like, of all the things I spent money on in the facility, that's what you pick up on?
That's what I said. That's
Did
what
you?
I pointed out.
Okay, I missed it, yeah. Timmy and I, Peter's got great equipment, he's got all this stuff going on, and we're just going, oh, look at the carpet, right? We were so entranced by the carpet. Now, he's in LA. I don't know if you know this, there's a shit ton of laser tag in LA. And he really went and put himself, I think the volcano was pretty cool too. Yeah, so the volcano was pretty all right. So, where are you guys from? You two over there that haven't said a word. You, that looks like you came from 1972. Where? What center?
We're from Seattle.
Oh, you guys can do so much with it. What center are you guys with in Seattle? The arena?
Arena, yeah.
Look at that. I've never been to your site, and I know. I just took one look at him. I could kind of figure. All right, so, wait, you guys have two though now, right? I love this game. So this is how I'm healing, by the way. For those of you guys who don't know, I'm recovering from 5 strokes since August 1st, 5. And one of the things that stroke has done is affected my memory. I can't forget Jarrett though. But I was just actually in St. George and I didn't go visit him, so he's gonna beat me up later and I know that. So this game that I play with you guys, when I look at you and I try to remember, I know where your facility is from, it's actually therapeutic for me as well. It's recovering. It's shocking, by the way, for those of you who've never suffered anything, how much you've forgotten. So I'm shocked at how much my memory's coming back. But all right, so you guys, if I remember right, your second arena, are you guys with the first one or the second one? You're from the first, the second one? So I really don't know anything about the second. You have a Creative Works arena, though, for your second one, right?
I believe so.
All right, how big's that arena?
It's pretty small.
Is it?
It's not huge.
Okay, because you have like 4,000, right?
I think so, around that.
Okay.
We have like a mezzanine, like a second floor, like on it too, so it's about as bigger than yours.
Okay. All right, it's all that matters. You just remind me of that all the time. Okay. So now we kind of want to seg into what I call the industry roundtable. And this is really kind of more of an open forum thing. I've been doing this for a while. Traditionally, we kind of do a state of the industry kind of report, just where the industry's at. And then I kind of move into a little bit about the museum, what we've been doing with the Lace Tag Museum. Hold on one second here. And then we kind of open up to ideas and everything else like that. So the industry, look, we're still here. And if we could go back in time and read some of the trade publications, this was a fad. George Carter, the man who invented laser tag, even thought this was a fad. He sold out in 1988, 1989, and I ran into him in, I think, 97 in the Dallas IAPA show. And here's the man who invented laser tag walking around the show. And there are 32 laser tag manufacturers. And he is shocked. He was like, how in the world is all this laser tag? Because he thought it was a fad. He thought it was just not going to last at all. And so laser tag has done incredibly well. We've got strong pop culture recognition still to this day. I know that my company just did the Titans TV show. We provide laser tag equipment for that. I know laser tag's been laser tag's been referenced in a lot of TV shows and movies. And admit to yourself, when you tell people that you're involved with laser tag, no one really asks you, unless they're probably over 50, what is laser tag? Right? Anybody at the age of 50 knows what laser tag is. Isn't that wonderful that you know that people know what laser tag is? So we've been very fortunate in that way, that people, and almost everybody has a strong affinity to laser tag. They had a birthday party, they went to a birthday party, they enjoyed the laser tag experience, they went and played with some friends. So if you think about it from that perspective, one of the elements on the laser tag industry is that we actually create memories for people. And sometimes I think when we go in every day, we sort of forget that. When the laser tag equipment doesn't work, or the staff member doesn't show up, or you get that insane party mom, right? You kind of forget. But the truth is, we really do a great job in that area. So the laser tag industry, and feel free to share, dive in anytime. This is very open here. Obviously, COVID hurt a lot of us. I lost a store during COVID. Mike was shut down for 13 months, about that, 12, 13 months. Some of you guys in New York, laser tag was shut down for a while in New York. Washington, how long were you guys shut down?
About like a year.
A year, only.
After that, there was just, you can do like 10 people at a time or something.
Yes.
It kind of took a while to get back up.
Yeah, for some reason, the West Coast really, you guys really shut down for a long, long time. I suffered in Ohio with 10 weeks, right? Yeah, I know, I'm being facetious, okay? You're welcome to kick my butt later for this, right? So, for 10 weeks. And so, it is really interesting. And then after COVID, everyone saw a great increase in sales, right? Boosh, everything. And now most people are telling me it's kind of slowing down a little bit. Sales are still solid, but it is slowing down a little bit. And that's to be expected. We had this big pent-up demand no matter how long you were shut down. People really wanted to jump into laser tag. They wanted to get out of the house. And now we're kind of getting back to stability. We're getting back to a new norm, but that new norm should be relatively better at that, because you had 2 years to clean your arena, right? You had 2 years to fix your patch. You had 2 years to get things done. And so now you guys, have moved into this area. So from that perspective, I'm going to tell you the industry still looks healthy in North America. All the manufacturers are still around. And I know that sounds kind of like a weird statement, but that is a judgment in our industry. So when we lose manufacturers, we haven't. Pretty much everybody is still here. So the same manufacturers that were here 3 years ago, are still around today. The flip side of the coin, no new manufacturers. Believe it or not, that's actually good too. New manufacturers come in, they're disruptive to the industry. They make promises because they need to get market share, and they don't always follow through. So at the trade shows, we're just not seeing any new laser tag manufacturers to speak of. We do have a blending. If you've been through these classes with me over the years, several years ago I talked about the hybridization of laser tag. That's outdoor laser tag coming indoors. We're seeing more of that. We're seeing more of that, urban assault command centers. Again, you had one or two in your presentation that were really, really cool. So we're seeing that element as well that's occurring in the industry. So from that point, the other element that I'm going to predict for pretty much the next year and a half. Now I'm going to be a little bit gloomy and doomy overall, big picture. You ready? Okay. Interest rates just got raised by the feds yet again, 9 times in just the past 2 years. Commercial properties at an all-time low between 20 and 40,000 square feet, which is the prime space that most fund centers actually take up. Because of COVID, most commercial properties, most commercial development did not occur. Many commercial projects got put on hold. So what that means is there's a huge demand on commercial property. Bed Bath & Beyond has just declared that they're shutting down 200 locations, and you think, oh, that's fantastic. It's actually not. They actually have all their spaces ready to go to other realtors, other locations, other properties who want to take over the space, because the average Bed Bath & Beyond is actually 32,000 square feet, ideal fun center size. But then none of those 200 properties are going to come on the market for a fun center to take and snatch up and expand and grow, right? Because all of that's already spoken for. Commercial rates are actually going up to an all-time relative high. As we all know, several years ago, hate to say pick on Washington, but Washington and Portland, we had the social justice warriors wanting to raise minimum wage to $15 an hour. They failed, but they won anyways. Because while we don't have a federally mandated minimum wage of $15 an hour, California's thinking, holy shit, we love 15 bucks an hour. The truth is, we have a prevailing wage of $15 an hour or so. In Ohio, I can't hire a 16-year-old for under 12. A 16-year-old makes $12 an hour to take in a game of laser tag. In California, you guys can't talk to people for $12 an hour. You just can't. So that we have a prevailing wage, so we have an increased labor increase. Not quite our industry. There's something that actually protects us, but then hinders us at the same time. But if you look at fast food joints, we have, I went through a Subway. A Subway had a touchscreen menu at the drive-thru, right? A Subway. I'm like, what the world? If you go to Taco Bell, every Taco Bell pretty much in the nation has the same automated voice when you first pull up. By the way, if you wonder why I had 5 strokes, listen to my dietary right now, right? You know. So, but Taco Bell has the same automated voice just to allow the worker a little bit longer to roll the next taco or the next burrito or the next thing that they're working on. Companies are now experimenting with AI at the drive-thru. White Castle has decided they're not going to hire a French fry cook anymore. They instead have decided to purchase robots. They're doing robots. They're doing robots now at the fry stand at the cost of $2,000 a month, which is cheaper than having an employee do fries. Because White Castle, for those of you in the Midwest, we all know what White Castle is. They're like In-N-Out burgers, except for not as cool. Okay? But White Castle is, you guys, you're from Indiana, you know, right? You went to school in Indiana. But White Castle is spending $2,000 a month to have a robot instead of having an employee, right? What does this mean? Well, one, I personally believe that Thanos snap actually happened. Because where the hell did the employees go, right? Let's start there. Because it was something like they're just all gone, right? But then secondly, we are also asking how do we automate things in the entertainment industry, in the family entertainment center industry. Now, I dropped a hint earlier that we're protected. This is a situation where in many states, not all, but many states, laser tag is deemed an attraction. As an attraction, we're technically regulated by, most states have a Department of Agriculture that we fall under. Because most states have county fairs and state fairs, and Department of Agriculture oversees them. Department of Agriculture in most states requires that an attraction has an attendant at all times. So this is a situation where we kind of want to automate, but we kind of have state laws that actually prevent us to automate. That doesn't mean that laser tag manufacturers are not working towards developing an attendantless laser tag attraction. It hasn't quite happened yet, but they are moving that way. Now, I'm going to tell you that on a legislative element, that's fantastic that we actually have some protection. We do have to hire people, costs us more labor. However, here's the downside to what we're seeing a lot in the laser tag industry. And for those of you with coming from bigger fun centers, you're probably guilty of what I'm railing against. Yes?
Yeah, I just want you to get closer so she can get your face instead of the screen on your face.
So anyways, I'm not very photogenic, so it's like, why is the chubby Bill Gates standing in front of a laser tag arena? But I am railing against, and if you're on the how many people here on the laser tag forum, the Facebook laser tag Facebook? If you're not, you should be, okay? Because we post things, there's things written. But I'm railing against something I'm calling omni, which is one button, no interaction. One button, no interaction is where you push a button, the briefing starts, the kids put their laser tag packs on, and they go and they play. Now, I'm not scared to piss people off, as many of you know, because one, I figured out I have job security for life, so I don't care. But look at your laser tag experience at main event or Andretti's, right? These are very much where they just push a button, laser tag starts, people go in, and the owner operators, the manager, thinks that's fantastic. I've got one attendant to run the laser tag. But what we've lost sight of is what made laser tag fantastic. What made laser tag fantastic was the experience. It was that briefing. Hi, welcome to QZAR. My name's Erik. We're going to go play Energize 4. What is an Energize 4 game? I'm going to tell you. We're going to split into two teams, red team and green team. I've been doing that brief for 25 years, right? I can still do a QZAR brief. But it is that interaction when they come in and then we say, okay, who's got a birthday party? Peter's going to be our birthday model. Peter, come on over here. We're going to put a pack on you. Bring Peter up and put a pack on Peter and have him display the pack, right? We're losing that. We're losing the soul of the laser tag industry. We have to wrestle between efficient operation because you're like, well, I can teach any staff member to push a button, and if they can't, then I need to fire them. Absolutely true. But we're also missing the magic. I'm going to pick on bowling. Don't get mad at me. But bowling, if the five of us, I don't even know you guys, but the five, oh yeah, I do laser salt, Provo, Utah. I have a whole history in my head about you guys. Provo laser salt. If we all went bowling, what we do on our lane has no impact on what they do on their lane. It just doesn't. We're getting rounds of drinks, we're getting some pizzas, we're having a great time. You get a strike, of course you're going to get a strike, right? You get a strike, it doesn't impact their experience. That's not true in laser tag. What we do as an individual impacts everybody in the laser tag game, correct? And so what we're failing is if we're not creating a great experience at the beginning of the game, we're creating a negative experience throughout the game. Because the kids, all they're just going to care about is running around shooting each other, pulling the trigger, and that's about it. And you're like, yay, that's great. Well, that's mediocre. And if you tell me your sales are mediocre, that's why. When Tivia pointed out an example of a great arena that she liked a lot, she used Sherman Oaks. Mark Young there hires like aspiring actors and actresses. Now you might be up in Idaho and you're like, I don't have aspiring actors and actresses. That's actually not true. You have theater departments in high school, you have community colleges, you often have community theaters. You can reach out to them to say, hey, who do you have? You want that dynamic, energetic, outgoing, vivacious. If you're not that person, great, understand that. Don't hire you. Seriously, don't hire you, hire somebody else. Because the store, or at least the laser tag, takes on the personality of the manager, takes on the personality of the staff. Jack ran a very successful, very large laser tag institution. The arena was over 10,000 square feet, the laser tag arena. And when they started the briefing, the staff stood on a podium and they had lights that lit up. And they had this really cool, basically, if you guys remember Spencer Gifts, they were like neon electric signs and symbols and things like that. But they made a big deal about doing the briefing. Today, the briefing is like, all right, how many have been here before? Okay, watch the video, I'll be back. And that's it. That's what laser tag is today in a lot of ways, right?
Let me add something to that.
Please,
as an example of what you're talking about is very important. We had a customer that used to come to our facility on a regular basis. His name was Tony Vanetti. He was a radio celebrity. Afternoon Underdogs, him and Dave Jennings on a regular basis. And I did a radio spot with them. He and his son would come and play laser tag at my facility on a regular basis. Well, the kicker is we started having other centers coming in, and he was like, how's that going to affect you? I said, go play them. He's like, what? I said, if you want me to pay for it, I will pay for you to go play them. I want you to experience what they're bringing in. And he looked at me funny, and I said, you're going to go to this facility. It's going to be a cookie cutter, non-personal experience. They're going to show you a briefing. They're going to run you through, and you're going to come back out and say, what just happened? He went to all the other centers coming in. He came back, and he said, Jack, you're my friend, and I just want you to know that you were obviously my friend because you told me the truth. We'll never go to those centers again. I didn't even have to pay for his game of laser tag, so it was kind of cool. But regardless of that, it makes a difference. We do a video briefing, exactly what Erik is talking about. We did. I'm sorry, I'm not there anymore. I sold it. But with that being said, that is part of the experience. It took a 20-minute experience. People ask how long the game is. The game itself is 12 minutes, but it's a 20-minute experience. That briefing was part of that experience, and a very important part. And I'll shut up now.
No worries. So that's something, if you are running video briefing, that's something to think about. There's a benefit to video briefing. Now that I had a chance to look at their name badge, I mean, I've known about these guys for a long time. And you've been in, I've actually visited your center years ago.
You visited the old one?
I visited the old one, yes, the one that nearly killed me because of the low rafters. Yes. I remember trauma very well in my life. So
That's part of our appeal.
Yes,
Everybody that comes in talks about the laser assault trauma.
Yes, the short seat, the rafters in there. It wasn't just you guys. Millburg Heights, Ohio also had something very similar that was like a decapitator. You know, so kids came out with head in hand, like, oh, Mom, look, I'm shorter. I got a growth spurt coming.
We did host nationals and somebody did end up with stitches, so.
Yeah. So these are, but you guys are really like a standalone, and so some of this, you're in a state, you've been doing live briefings for a while. So with that, I give you those negatives, not to come down on the industry, but to prevent anybody from sliding any further if you are headed in that direction, for you guys to look at this and go, we have a great, and the best example before I move on is everyone in this room, and I don't know everybody here, but everyone in this room has gone to a restaurant that served mediocre food, had mediocre atmosphere, but a fantastic server. And you said, wow, I'll go back to that. And conversely, you've been to a really upscale restaurant and spent a lot of money and just had a mediocre server. And you're like, not sure I want to go back to that, right? So the question really is, are you an upscale mediocre experience, or are you mid-range incredible experience? And that's really where the challenge I throw out to people when you guys look at your laser tag. A good rule of thumb, laser tags should be doing between $10,000 to $15,000 per pack per year. So one of the things that I was speaking with this wonderful young lady, I forgot your name already, I apologize. Yes, ma'am, you. Trish. So Trish remembers talking to me. I do apologize. I mean, I remember chatting with her. But Trish and I were talking about in retail, there's certain metrics that exist. And in retail, they have revenue per square foot. Now that gets a little tricky because are we measuring just the arena square footage? Are we counting the two levels on the arena? Are we talking about the briefing investing when we start to get into revenue per square foot? And I wrote an article for Replay magazine where I did promote the idea of revenue per square foot. But another metric is revenue per pack. You two have two different size arenas. Do you have different pack counts?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's hard to compare revenue because if you have a large arena and more packs and you do better in revenue and you have a smaller arena, but you can compare gross laser tag sales divided by the number of packs that are licensed. You know what I mean by licensed, right? So you have an 18-player system, right? You can run 18 packs. It's not the manufacturer's fault you're down 2, so you're licensed to run 18. You can't run more than whatever the software is licensed to do, right? So you have an 18-player system, you have a 30-player, I don't know, I'm making it up, but it's very easy then to divide gross sales by a number of licensed pack, and now you have a metric. And then because in your situation, you guys have 4 or 5 more locations, and you're thinking about adding laser tag at different times or on the expansion as you guys continue to grow, because your site's only a couple years old, right? Maybe a year old?
I was like 5 years old.
Is it? Who's the younger of the two? Yours is, yeah, yours is like a year old. Is it Stuart I'm thinking of? Who's involved with the purchasing? I'll come back to that. But anyways, so doing metrics like that allow you to determine, how are you doing compared to other people, in your industry. So again, I'm going to try to move forward from that negative element about the industry. Everything I just said, the tough economy as far as the Fed interest rate, the lack of commercial real estate, this is actually another breathing space for you because you're already open. And you're already open, right? The hindrance I just gave you don't really impact you. It prevents competition from coming into your market. So use this chance re-examine your laser tag operations and see what you can do to raise the bar without having to add a second level or adding, more expensive theming or anything else like that. So that's kind of my big industry statement, which is that it is actually very positive for you guys out there. Jared.
Yeah, that's real life where I live. There was a fun center going to go into the mall, then the pandemic hit, and then everything's raised, and then now it's going to be a sporting goods store. So that's super helpful. And
Right.
then the fun center's been announced south of town, but it was announced like a year ago. They haven't broken ground yet, and I think it's just interest rates. So that's helping a ton too.
Yeah, and you already have a competition in St. George.
With
So,
the same laser tag equipment as us.
yes, well, that's not my fault now, is it?
Or is it?
So, no, maybe. Jared and I have known each other for like 25 years, so, but yeah, it really is that in St. George, what, 300,000 people?
No, like 250.
250? All right. So, yeah, I mean, but people today, we're trying to squeeze like one for every 100,000 people now. It used to be one for every 250,000. So, we're seeing that movement. Sir?
And one other thing, you're talking about the interest rate. One of the other things that's affecting our industry is because the leader in financing for our industry backed out of the industry. A company by the name of Firestone Financial. God, I hate admitting this, but I'll do it. I've been in this industry for 45 years. Firestone Financial had my DNA as a sample of knowing who to deal with because they dealt with me on a regular basis. I paid as much as 30% interest because I had to have the equipment. With that being said, they're no longer doing it. We have one, Zone Equipment has right now one location that's sitting there because they were using Firestone and they dropped out. That's going to hurt our industry, not just because the interest rates are going up, but when other lenders see our industry having their leaders say, let me rethink this, it makes all of them become apprehensive. So loans are getting more difficult to get.
And now add in the saving or the commercial banking that has occurred again, California. Thank you. No, but SVB shut down. Several other banks have now shut down. And the reality is, it's going to be the smaller and regional banking industry that's getting eyes set upon them, and they're the ones that did a lot of the lending to the amusement industry. So, again, all sound negative, but they're really actually positive opportunities for you because it prevents competition to enter in. And most of the time, competition enters in because you created a vacuum. You either didn't give a great service, you didn't do something fantastic, or somebody saw a need to fill it, and more than just laser tag because there are multiple attractions. Sir?
So getting back to your first statement about automation and labor going up, the possibility that sounded like the manufacturers may be adapting to this and maybe coming out with almost an attendant-less laser tag system. Does that mean they're going to be building more safeguards into the system, like sensing running and then alerting that there's no running, and then maybe some sophisticated detection on, oh, you must be following because you tagged this person 2 or 3 times in a row. So let's prevent you from tagging them again so you can stop following and go do something else type of thing. Is that kind of where we're going?
I would say yes to the first part. I think the second part's genius, by the way. But Kevin is a genius, so that's why Bronwyn married him. Right? Oh, she's shaking her head no. So, yeah. So at the end of the day, the accelerometer is incredibly adept at determining speed. And I remember 25 years ago, there was a guy in the industry named Bob Wood. And Bob and I were in Philadelphia, and we visited this laser runner place, and we're the only 2 people in the laser runner arena. And this kid says to us, because he doesn't know that Bob owns $1 million facility, he doesn't know who I am. And he says, if you run, the packs will automatically shut off. Challenge accepted. 2 old middle-aged fat guys roaming through the arena like me and Bob. Yes, we ran. We ran. We had a great time running. We were screaming and running, and the packs didn't shut off, and we were greatly disappointed. Now, what we discovered is we could tag ourselves and get points. So we're pretty excited about that when we discovered that one. Now I hope Laser Runner since upgraded their technology since then, but that was the case back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So Kevin, to your point, yes, the concept really is going to be integration into the card system, whether it be Sequoia, Intercard, whatever, but getting away from proprietary membership cards to start with, because that's too expensive ultimately. So imagine that a person can literally swipe their card, pick their pack, taking something that Darklight's been doing for 25 years, pick the game and their pack like you do at a movie theater, right? How many of you go to movie theaters able to pick your seat, right? Pick your movie time, pick your seat. Technology exists. Why can't it transfer? It can, actually. So you do pack allocation, right? You get a little ticket that tells you what pack. That little ticket actually has a barcode. Laser tag actually has a camera on it. Scan that. Pack activates for that player, right? And then the music starts, or I'm sorry, the briefing plays. The doors can unlock, a magnetic lock can unlock the door so they can go in and play, come out. So I don't think we're far away. I mean, pretty much a lot of that technology exists, right? Except for that last part that you just said. But that's easy. You tell a programmer, one of the programmers, just to do tag recognition equals greater than, right?
And it can't be a one-on-one game.
Right. Yeah, game equals solo, player count less than, right? It's just so it's a math factor, right? So yeah, I mean, I'm stealing that idea. I'm going to tell you right now.
Building that into the
Thank
games,
you, Robin.
whoever decides to do it that way, one of the complaints we have is, hey, that kid was following me, and they're not gonna complain about somebody following them unless they're also tagging them and consistently following, tagging,
Well,
tagging.
with that said, dynamic handicapping exists with certain laser tag systems.
It does.
Dynamic handicapping,
It
not
does.
handicapping
And
as some
some
manufacturers.
Laser Force games do have this thing where if you tag somebody more than once, you can't tag them again unless you tag somebody else first.
Right.
So that is there as well.
Right.
So that just needs to be incorporated.
So yeah, some of that technology, yeah, already exists on
And then
that.
that's the enforcement following.
Right. Yeah. And then if they get tagged 10 times by the same player, then the pack actually shoots out an IR explosion, takes the kid out. I love this idea. All right, so self-destruct grenades or whatever. All right, so in regards to that, I am very optimistic despite that somewhat negative element because you guys have a great opportunity to harden your capabilities and run a better laser tag experience in there. So, moving in, any other questions about the industry as a whole? Here's your chance. Jared, sir.
Comment. So I've been going to a lot of VR classes. I went to all VR classes last year.
Are you saying art or VR?
VR.
VR, okay.
All
The VER classes.
So we installed free roam VR escape rooms last year. I've been running for a year. Short story, they suck. They've not done well for us, unfortunately. And I've learned through these classes that you have to baby it so much. Like you need to have an attendant there all the time. You need to they need to know all the games in and out. I need to anyways, and I'm just so grateful that laser tag, you actually can push a button and the kids still have a ton of fun. It doesn't take a babysitter to have all that throughput and the equipment is reliable now. I'm just so grateful for laser tag. It just works.
I remember when zero latency came out and everybody in the industry was like, zero latency, that's going to be the alternative to laser tag, right? So we played zero latency, and I'm just going to speak of my personal experience. We did, I was here with Bob Cooney, because Bob and I have known each other since like 96, I think it is. We're over at MGM Grand, where they had a zero latency set up, and the 8th player crashed the system in every game. It could handle 7 players, but the 8th player, now that sounds great. You're like, all right, the 8th player, there were only 8 slots. That was it. They only had 8 guns. So the 8th player always crashed. So I played, the 8th player crashed the system. They finally thought, okay, just 7 of you play, right? So we play. So then I take off the, headsets and all that, and I stand over at the table where the attendant is, right? And this 18-year-old kid just is telling me everything right. He's like, let me show you where all these faults are. He's like, let me show you the error logs. Let me show you, it's like the 8th player. And he goes, and they knew this. They knew this before they ever hosted you. Like, I don't even know why you're here. They knew this existed. I'm like, I'm glad that you're telling me all this, By the way, MGM Grand, you can't play zero latency there anymore. Main Event added VR free roam laser tag to their Orlando location on iDrive. Gone. But yeah, 3, 4, 5 years ago, everyone was thinking that free roam VR was going to be what's known as a category killer. It was going to wipe out the laser tag industry, and it's still here. Do you guys have VR at all, like a Hologate or anything like that?
We don't, but Limitless, one like VR laser tag company, they did like a bunch of developing in our arena. So like we tested out a bit, but it just didn't seem like a great idea to like take it on full time.
Limitless is where they do the overlay on your arena and then they put in the VR code, right? And then so they're saying, hey, if you don't have, you can do VR and laser tag separate at different times, right?
I guess.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
We mapped it out and we got to play it, but it was just kind of like a little laggy, running into walls.
We have one in Indianapolis as well. And here's my problem. So the arena building companies want you to spend a substantial amount. They'll tell you $35 to build a laser tag arena, $35 per square foot. When you're really done, it's $50 to $60 a square foot. And then after they paint up this really beautiful pirate theme or Aztec theme or Egyptian theme or fill in the blank theme, and they come in and they put these graphics, for lack of a better phrase, that are the markers for the VR and right on top of the paint that they've just done. And I'm like, what? So I don't agree with it for a variety of reasons. And it just hasn't quite taken off yet, so in regards to that. Other items about you two gentlemen in the blues on your phone. You've been here before. Remind me who you are.
I'm Dan Earl.
From?
California. We have family entertainment centers.
Okay.
So we have 2 2,500 square foot arenas and 2 small ones.
What city are you guys in?
Pollock Pines, Sutter Creek, Red Bluff.
Okay, it's clicking now. I know, I got it.
All your companies here.
Don't blame me for that. You're dealing with Simon.
All of us pulling on.
Thank you, yeah. So, all right, I thought you two looked familiar. I'd seen you guys before. All right, so with all that said, I mean, so that from the industry point of view, I think, again, I'm always going to be optimistic. I'm always going to tell you the positives of the industry, but I'll also give you some of the negatives of the industry as well. But as operators, as a rule, customers are still pretty happy with laser tag. VR hasn't become the threat to the industry that the VR companies like to have promoted. I was on a panel that Bob Cooney emceed, which was a VR laser tag versus real life laser tag. Obviously, we know what side I was championing for. And here it is 3, 4, 5 years later, and VR just still hasn't gotten it. A lot of places I go to, the reason I asked about you guys in Hologate, a lot of fun centers I go to, the VR is sitting empty. The 4-player VR is just sitting empty. If you guys are on Facebook, I'm not a big Facebook user, though I recommend that you get on the Laser Tag Operators Forum. But there's also a FEC used equipment forum. Am I saying, is that right? FEC used equipment. And you see a ton of VR for sale on that. So if you absolutely truly must have VR, wait 6 months and then buy it used. Yeah, buy it used. And you'll save 50 to 70% on that. So, I don't know. I don't want to look at the camera at any time. So with that said, Laser Tag Museum. So some changes to the museum for those of you guys, if you're unaware, I'll do this very briefly. We've had a Laser Tag Museum in Louisville, Kentucky, and we have had on display dozens and dozens of laser tag packs from all over the world. Laser tag systems that you've never heard of, nor will you ever see unless you visit a Laser Tag Museum. And even during COVID, believe it or not, during COVID, while the museum wasn't open, I was still acquiring stuff. For many of you who don't know me personally, I'm a hoarder. And I readily admit I'm a hoarder. One day they're going to have a Hoarder Laser Tag Edition, and I'll be the first person on that show. And so we've collected laser tag packs and from all over the world. I have friends all over the world who literally reach out to me and like, hey, do you have this? Do you have that? And then we make arrangements to have it sent to me. And then we have a ton stored. So Tivia, I think one time just recently said, hey, how much space does the laser tag museum, just in our backup storage, how much space does it? And I sent her picture after picture, and I'm not making this up. You've all seen the sci-fi movies where the government has a warehouse and the lights are turned off, and you go and you throw a lamp, and it goes, choo, 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 choo. That's my basement. I have a huge basement, and I have stats. We buy to tell you, I spend $3,000 to $5,000 a year just on totes that are weather tight, waterproof, airtight, in which we then put oxygen and moisture absorbers in a sealed bag with then more oxygen and water absorbers, moisture absorbers, inside this tote. So any packs that we get when we go to store, we literally will put them. Oh, and then if that wasn't enough, because obviously I have way too much money, we then seal the tote with Gorilla Tape. All the way. So we Gorilla Tape all the edges so nothing gets in. Like, if you're drowning, just grab a laser tag tote. You will float forever on this thing, okay? Jack would have survived the Titanic on the top of one of my totes, all right? Because there was enough room for both of them. I don't care what he says. All right, so we gather up all this, and I've got a friend in England who got a bunch of tactical laser tag equipment I didn't have because Europe has equipment brands that I don't have. And then just recently, we just bought, believe it or not, a couple of historic photos on eBay. A friend of mine reached out and said, hey, do you know about this particular photo? And I said, no, and I looked at it, and it was a system called Star Laser Force. Now, if you never heard Star Laser Force, they're the really kind of the second laser tag system to ever exist. It's a very reclusive. They only have one location in Houston, Texas area, and somehow or another, a newspaper has decided to sell all their photographs from the 80s, and in there was this Star Laser Force photo. So I bought that, and I also bought another photo that was from 1994, and I ended up having to scan it and actually send the photo to Lasertron to say, can you tell me what version of equipment this is? And they actually emailed back like 2 days later. They said, yeah, it's LT3, and it's the only photo of Lasertron version 3, right? So we're scanning that, we're putting it on the website. So we're gonna be enhancing the Laser Tag Museum website because it did fall off a little bit. COVID affected all of us, and we didn't update as much as we wanted to. But we're still constantly collecting and gathering stuff out there. There's always, you would think there's a finite amount of laser tag. I haven't come across that yet. I just keep collecting. And we get really, really cool stuff that we find out there. Tivia is fantastic at locating a lot of photon stuff, and she has some things that I want for the museum at some point. So she's collected a lot of stuff, and there's private collectors out there. Peter has a museum in Russia, and he has some great videos on YouTube. I'm very jealous of your videos, if you can't tell. They're amazing. But he has started a Russian version of a laser tag museum. We had a chance to get together, how long ago was it? About a year ago or so? You and I?
Oh, at his place?
Yeah, Peter's place?
Yeah, it was before convention, I think,
okay,
last year.
Yeah, so
Or 2 years. Year and a half.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. So, and I was able to bring Peter a laser tag pack that he can't get. And he has access to laser tag packs that I can't get in Russia. So there's a lot we're still doing. The museum is still growing, it's still thriving. We're doing a lot with it. But we are in the next year, because Mr. Geisett, my marketing guy in the back there, we've been looking at, we're currently on a Joomla-based website. We're going to switch it over to WordPress, and so we're getting ready to do that conversion. And it sounds super easy till you realize we literally have, our website is something like 27 gigs of videos and pictures. It's just massive, the amount of stuff that we've archived over time and that we digitized. And all this is free. All of it is always free. There was never an admission to the museum. Obviously, we want you to go visit the website and see what we've got, things like that. And you'll see manufacturers that are donors, that go into that. So with all that said, museum's still going strong. We got a lot, we're doing with it. Mike is sitting on an alien tentacle, the very thing we just made fun of at the beginning of the seminar or the class. He's sitting on an alien tentacle that I want because, well, they were really cool. Yeah, they were really cool, and I just want this alien tentacle. I think it's.
And I want to get rid of it too.
See, it works out well. I'll just send you a shipping label. So easy.
Yeah.
So can you box it?
We'll figure something.
Okay, there we go. So what he really wants me to come out of Sacramento and pick it up.
Yeah.
So that's
That'd be
it's a yeah.
You have to play a game.
So well, his boss owes me a steak dinner anyway. So I have a reason to come out. Again, I don't know if you caught the whole food thing in my life, but it's very important to me. So all right. International Laser Tag Day, last part of the museum. So we created International Laser Tag Day. I don't remember how long ago now, Mr. Erik. Do you know when we started our first? Oh, it's 94. Wait.
2014.
2014. Thank you, Tivia.
It started as National Laser Tag Day, and we had an uproar from all of our friends in Australia and Europe and said, "Excuse me, this is international." So we went, okay.
Yep, so we changed it to International Laser Tag Day. And I gotta say, like, believe it or not, it has really taken off. People do specials. I remember a couple years ago, Kevin did, was it $5 laser tag games, and you actually recreated the photon sound files and stuff like that?
Right.
Yeah.
Last time we played 80s music. We're closed today, so.
Yes. Yes.
We're closed today, so we can be here.
Yes, I appreciate that. So, but you can do stuff with, and it gives you one more reason, because the truth is, after Martin Luther King Day and President's Day, you don't really get a holiday. You get spring break, and then it's Memorial Day. So you can actually make your own holiday with International Laser Tag Day. I will say on Facebook, what are you?
I just think that's funny. I was just sitting here thinking we ought to make it a federal holiday, but
but one of the cool things is if you jump on Facebook, believe it or not, Delta Strike and who else was it?
Blast Heads.
Blast has a promotion,
and Force as well.
And promoting Laser Tag Day. So it just gives you some market exposure for your community. You can do some sort of fundraiser, you can tie into some event, give something back to the community, anything like that. So don't miss up on that opportunity. I know it's today, but you guys are already planning for next year, so I'm just giving you an idea for next year. Do you have a question? Oh, you look like you have one. You're ready to go. All right. So then the last part is I kind of want to throw this out there to everybody, because now we kind of open up, in there. So in the past 6 months, year, how's biz? I'm just going to throw it there. Do you feel optimistic? Are you feeling a little down? Are you thinking you're pretty steady? You guys have been around for a long time. Obviously you moved, but you've been, because you're not the original owners.
No.
So.
Actually closed down for 5 years.
That's why you threw me with this thing up here. So.
Yeah, they closed down pre-COVID. Actually, they were out. What was it? 18?
4 years before it opened. So.
Yeah, 18.
Do you still have the Stargate?
No.
I tried to buy that when I was there.
Oh, you and Logan too?
Well, I have one now, but yes.
I'm sure.
Yeah, Logan got me one, strangely enough. Yes. So, so at that time, do you have laser storm equipment still running that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that time, there's something called a Stargate, which is just like the movie Stargate, right? And I was visiting their former location, their former owners, and I tried to buy the Stargate, and the guy didn't want to sell it to me. And then we found another one in Lockport, New York, and the guy wanted $10,000 for a Stargate, right? And it was insane. And I was like, look, man, we're a free admission museum. We make no money. Best I can do is $500 and I'll pick it up. And it was at a skating center. And the guy's like, nah, 10 grand. Otherwise, it's not worth it. I'm like, all right. So we kind of let the negotiations die. And I'm sitting at, like 2, 3, 4 weeks go by. I'm sitting at the Admirals Club in Dallas getting ready to fly off to Europe. And I get a phone call on a Friday. And the guy says, hey, my landlord has told me I gotta be out by Monday. If you can get up here, you can have it. So my assistant and another assistant drive up to Lockport, New York from Indianapolis, and they put the Stargate on the back of this pickup truck, and they're driving back, and people on the road are like, Stargate, yeah, Stargate, right? So we finally got one. But it's one of the coolest features. So that's why I was wondering if you got So what happened? Did they destroy it, or the landlord ruined it, or something?
I have no idea.
Someone else took it. It's in their
It's probably in storage
indoor
somewhere.
swimming pool room like I have. So
Could
yeah.
be.
I don't. It's not a swimming pool, by the way. We filled it in, but I have 1,800 square foot addition to my house, and so yeah, we have a Stargate. We're trying to get it fully functional. So
That is always the trick.
yes, it was a trick back in '96, by the way, when they debuted it and all that. So
I don't think we ever got the fog to work on that. We got the lights.
the lights are cool, but yeah, the fog swirls. The jets are kind of off kiltered a little bit, purposely to create like a whirlpool eddy. So,
Yeah.
and that's what Storm really did for the laser tag industries. They brought the attraction out. Mostly at the very end, the last slide Tibia had pretty much was the Zap Zone superhero slide. A lot of you guys probably have some sort of archway out in the lobby area. I mean, you think, oh, that's really cool, right? And it is cool. But what Laser Storm did 20 plus years ago was they actually created an attraction that got people's eyes. When they started getting yellow beacon lights kicked on, fog would emit, and the players would get called in and go into the briefing experience. And that's how it all started, right? Was that. So it's sad in a way that we've regressed as an industry. And so we need to kind of re-expand and push the industry forward in those areas. All right, Idaho, how you guys doing? Is there something that you guys trip over, some way you want to make more sales? Is there anything you can ask this crowd of experienced operators? Don't mean to put you on the spot, but we become friends here if you haven't figured that out yet.
That's why we came. So we're just trying to figure out how to get it out to the masses. We're trying to get it out, and I don't know, we've been open for 3 years. So, I mean, we've seen improvement. Well, actually, we've been kind of, it's been, a tiny jump every year. But we're just looking to get it out because we feel if we can get it out, we've got an Air Force base right there in town that we're starting to get to now. So we're starting to advertise on the Air Force base. But, we're trying to get the surrounding community to come. Everybody that comes, it's amazing. We've been there for 3 years, and people come in, they'd be like, "Oh, this is my first time here." Like, we've been here for 3 years.
I own a 29-year-old facility, and people in Toledo tell me, it's like, I've never been there before. I'm like,
Toledo,
yeah.
that's not mountain home. 15,000 people, maybe 16.
That's what I was going to ask. What's your population?
Yeah, that's about 16,000 people.
And it's not very transitory, right? People pretty much, other than the Air Force, take the Air Force out, people who move there stay there, relatively.
Yeah, but they do have people, because we've got people now, lately within the last about 4 or 5 months, we've got people that have come in and say, "Oh, we just moved here from California or from Utah, and we're going to Idaho." So they're coming in, and if they, if they come to Mount Home, then they come in and say, "Oh, wow, this is nice. We found some place." But that's what we're trying to do now. So we're trying to get the advertising out a little bit more and trying to push towards the Air Force base, because the Air Force base got a population that we have hardly touched. The people in town come, but there's some things on base that we want to get to that we can advertise, and we're starting advertising there. As a matter of fact, this month. So we're starting to uptick with the advertising on the Air Force base to try and get some more people to come out to the city.
How much do you charge for a single game?
We charge $8.
Okay.
How much is Big Mac?
2 Big Macs.
Okay, perfect.
2 Big Macs, about 2 Big Macs. So that, and
I love how we all go back to food in this industry. Don't laugh, you're a skinny kid. You don't get to laugh. It's the rest of us now.
Yeah, Ryan had that.
Yes.
It's about the price of 2 Big Macs. So we've done that, and so we kept it at 8. We're doing some things with we're trying to utilize a couple more games. Usually we just use solo and team, but we're incorporating the colors game, and people seem to like Vampire.
Vampire, yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that one's, when we get the free-for-all, or not the free-for-all, but the Friday night event, which is you pay $20 and you get laser tag all night long, well from 7 to 10.
3 hours,
So,
that's fair.
Yeah, so when we do
It's a
that.
small town, it closes at 10. It's
Yeah,
small.
yeah.
No, that's fair, you're right on your market, you're right
Yeah,
there.
so we do that and we kind of get, they play vampires, so, they're getting kind of used to it and they're starting to like it, so we're starting to introduce that a little bit more and,
Have you ever randomly saw somebody bring a friend and then let the friend play for free? I mean, I know every dollar counts, I'm a small operator too, but in other words, if you've come in and you played and then you show up with this beautiful lady next to you, if you just ever said, I'll tell you what, thanks for bringing somebody, we're not even gonna charge them tonight. You ever consider that? Only because one, everyone likes to get something for free. And then two, it sort of gives instant recognition that you have status because your friend got to play for free, right? And that's important in a small community. I grew up in a town called White House, Ohio, and it was very small. The village had seriously one stoplight, and that was it, right? The police went, woo, and they were there. It was a really tiny town. But everyone wants recognition, whether you're in a small town or a big city. So just something to be just a little different. Sometimes we have learned over the years, Jack and I specifically, and I did a seminar at Fun Expo many years ago, and I said there's 3 4-letter words that you need to use, and it's give away free. Give away free. Believe it or not, those 3 4-letter words, right? I know 4-letter words offend the young in here, the under 20s, right? But give away free, believe it or not, actually goes a long way. Do you do a single game $8? Is there a second game for how much?
Yeah, we do a single game for $8. We play 2 games, or if you buy 2 games, it goes down to $14 for 2, and then every game after that
$5 more.
is 7.
7, okay.
Yes.
All right, so you.
Yeah, so when you buy them that way, it's a little bit cheaper. And every now and we haven't done it in a while, but we'll have a day where we'll do something. We'll give away $5. We'll advertise it for $5. And for the VIP members, every Wednesday is VIP membership day. So if you come in with your card, you get $2 off.
Okay. All right. I mean, it's something. It's something's better. Yes, sir.
Another suggestion, this was without any question the favorite thing that my wife and I ever did running our facility, cause marketing. Find a charity in your situation, your location that you want to support, and support it to the nth degree. My wife and I, there is an organization that was called Recipe to End Hunger. Recipe to End Hunger made it a point of making sure that no children went home on a weekend without food in their hand. Because unfortunately, that's a difficult time in Louisville. Kids go home, they get fed at school, but they don't get when they're at home. Recipe to End Hunger. We had a night that we was promoted on local TV and everything. You came in to play laser tag free if you bring in food. We raised 1,400 cans of food and $1,000 cash, just for a 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. event.
Tying that to what Tivy is doing with Tag for a Cause Wednesday, she sent me a link yesterday about being on television at 5 in the morning. I think you spoke briefly about that. But she was actually not, she sent me the one link, but she was actually on 3 or 4 different television shows and 3 or 4 radio stations. Where's Battle Blast?
They had to leave.
Okay. So, well, good. Now we can talk evil about them. Grr. But Battle Blast has gotten tons, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of free publicity in Las Vegas. Do you know what it costs to buy an ad in Las Vegas? And yet she has generated tens, if not more than that, thousands of dollars worth of marketing, right? So, yeah, something, I have not done this, but I've been very fixated on trying to help the Humane Society because I want to do pew pew for pawpaws. either help the Humane Society or old people, one of the two. But, but I'm this is why you guys come. You know I'm going to say something inappropriate. But yeah, so but I just, and the reason being is there's a center in Bloomington, Indiana, and they actually have a picture of a beautiful, stunning, gorgeous, the most beautiful dog in the world. Wearing a Laser Force pack, and it's on their website, Austin's store. You know Austin Jarrett very well. But he's got a picture of Denali, and for those of you who don't know, Denali was my past since. Denali has more friends on Facebook than I have. Like Denali was super popular in Indianapolis, but he was seen wearing this laser tag pack, and it's really inspired the idea of some sort of fundraising charity for, you know, the Humane Society or some animal rescue group. Because unfortunately, we all, no matter where we're at in the United States, we all see on the news some animal hoarder who, you know, gets arrested, and then the group rescues too many animals and things like that. So we've got, you know, things like that. So various groups. Sir, can you remind me your first name, by the way? Earl? Okay. Now we all got the theme song of My Name Is Earl in my head.
For a while.
So,
Sorry.
I like how your friend laughed too. That's
Yeah.
great. So.
He sings it out loud
There-
sometimes. It's pretty awesome. And friend, really kind of.
Yeah.
Harsh. So we take it a step further. So everybody gets hit up for donations all the time, right?
Yes.
And church organizations, schools, random people just think they want to have a fundraiser for insert reason here, right? And we all have different responses for that. Either it's a blanket no, or there's only certain groups we support, or we've decided that we only support youth organizations or pet organizations or whatever it is. Or you say yes to everything and you go bankrupt giving away stuff that doesn't necessarily get you a return, because everybody wants a gift card, right? They want money. So we take it a step further. We give away birthday parties, legit $200 birthday packages to almost any organization that comes in and asks. It's just free. You want it? Sure, no problem. Here's a $200 gift card. It's not a gift card. It's only valid for the birthday party, and it's the exact same birthday party that they would buy from us for 8 kids. And it's a 2 attraction for us, because we're bowling, laser tag, you know, a couple other things. And that's what we give away. Now we do that because giving away things does a couple of things. One, it's awesome. The school is like, oh, that's great, that's epic, right? We can raffle that off, or we can make some money on that. And it has an actual value, because that's really what we sell it for. So we're truly giving them something of value. But most importantly, it brings people into our center. They're coming to our center, right? So if you give away a birthday party, who comes with the birthday party for a bowling, a laser tag, or a bounce house birthday party, which we also have? Little kids of all ages, but their parents come and either drop them off or what have you. So we make money on the residual. We usually, almost always, book additional birthday parties at a birthday party. And you book one and you paid for it, but the free birthday party is almost every single time paid for before the birthday party is half done, because they're playing an arcade, they're buying extra food, they added 6 more kids that the birthday party giveaway didn't cover, they added a 3rd attraction that it didn't cover, they're buying drinks, a couple of the parents get a cocktail or whatever it is, right? So we give away a lot. We give away thousands of dollars a year, and our bottom line is heavily affected by how much we make by giving away thousands of dollars every year.
I've wrestled with this, Earl, so I'm glad that you brought it up, because I get tons of donation requests at QZAR. It's been around forever, and people know it.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, in Toledo, everyone, I want to believe everyone knows, QZAR laser tag, but pretty much it's got good. And I get literally to the point you get the mail, and I'm on the other side. I'm like, we're supporting one group. That's it.
Yeah, and there's a sound reason to that too, and especially when you get, like, I won't respond to a mail letter. So we're only doing this when people are coming in and asking, right? If you're gonna mail me a letter, unless it's somebody I've told, just mail that to me next year. You know we're gonna do it for you. Like, and there's a couple of those at our locations. But for the most part, I need somebody that's putting in the legwork, because I know they're gonna promote the thing. It's gonna go to a raffle. They're gonna talk about it. Oh my gosh, Naughty Pine Lanes donated this, or the bowling alley donated this, or the family of members that are donated this. How cool was that? We're gonna get some hype from it. The guys that are mailing us the letters, we ignore those. We absolutely do.
Yeah, I literally would check the mail, and by the time I made it to the office,
you're like 14 thrown away, right?
Yeah.
We're not also in large, super huge markets. We're in smaller markets. So for us, the impact is we see and interact with some of these organizations all the time. Donating that to a school where the school may raise $100 on it is a big deal to that school, right? So that helps a lot with word of mouth, but we absolutely make the money back. The other thing I was going to mention is the coupons. Giving away a free game of laser tag is a great example. We love to give away free games of mini golf. We love to give away free games of laser tag, and we never give you the whole brand friend and they're free. It's not something that we do, but I absolutely give you a coupon for a free game next week, because I want you to come back, right? Now I can both you one. You can both come back. And we do that a ton. Every birthday party package that we run, every single kid in there gets a free mini golf game. The next time they come in.
I've done this for a while, and one of the coolest ads, and I wish I had a copy of it, was an old Qzar ad from roughly '99. It was two young guys, two maybe middle school boys, right? Wearing Qzar equipment back to back, and it said, "Buy one, get one free, make your friend pay." Loved it. And out of the vast archives, and when I say archives, again, Tivia's been, I have a library that's probably about the size of this space, right? I have just tens of thousands of documents, and I can't find this ad, and I just want this ad so bad. But yeah, buy one. I actually had Erik make me, sorry, I know you're trying to sneak out. I was giving a presentation in England, and there was a place called Laser Zone. They have 3 centers in England, and I asked Erik to make me an ad using their models off their website that was back to back. And literally the owner operators are in the room, and I get to the PowerPoint, and I get to the slide, and I say the same thing: buy one, get one, make your friend pay. And Stuart and Gary's turn and look at each other like, is that one of our ads? And he's got our logo and he's got our location. Did you do that ad? Did you do that ad? And I loved it. I loved the fact it wasn't actually. Do you remember making that ad for me? Yeah, so it's literally, but it's just that kind of double entendre, or buy one, get one, make your friend pay. One of the things we do at our All You Can Play event is that, you can leave now, I'm sorry, Mr. Erik, I didn't mean to catch you on the way out. Buy one, get one, I'm sorry. During our All You Can Play, the 3-hour All You Can Play event, at the halfway point, we ask the customers to post us on Snap, or Be Real, or Insta, or Facebook, depending on the age bracket, right? Because different medias for different ages. And if they do and they show the attendant will give them a free game pass. And we've actually had social media free game passes created so we can track them coming back. So we literally will give a free game pass at 9:30, and we say, what's your first name?
Alex.
Alex, where are you from?
From Daytona Beach, Florida.
Oh, okay. I haven't visited your site yet. Whose gear do you have?
I'm sorry?
Whose equipment do you have?
Delta Strike.
Okay, all right. I'll come down to Florida soon. So, no, I'm like, seriously, I'm like in June, I'll be there in Orlando, so I'll come see you then. So, but let's say Alex is like, takes a picture and posts it to his Facebook or his Snapchat. How old are you?
37.
Holy shit. No, you're not. You're really? I was going to put you at like 23. Okay, well, you look great for that age, so yeah. When you get older, you look really bad. This is a good example. But yeah, well, I'm trying to hide that in. It hides the triple chin. So, but anyways, but you take the ad, and I literally have had adults like, oh, I'm on Facebook, great, post something on Facebook. Oh, I have Snapchat, great, post. We don't care what, just somehow put us on your social media. And we know Snap is only 24 hours, we recognize that. But if they show that they posted with the, Qzar, on it, then we in turn will just give a free game pass that, costs us next to nothing to give away a game of laser. I did the math a long time ago. My numbers are no longer accurate, but I figured a free game of laser tag was approximately 14 cents to give away when you figure maintenance, wear, and tear. Today I put that number probably closer to 40 cents to give away. But games have gone up. In your small market, you're charging $8. Jared, do you remember the days when I used to talk to you about charging $8? What do you charge now? $7.50. Raise your price. What's Fiesta Fun Center charging? What's that?
I just raised it $1.
So I had lunch with my competitor. I've got a huge Fun Center competitor in Toledo, and we were having lunch, and he said, Erik, the best thing you ever did was buy Qzar, because the first thing you did was raise the price. Compliments Frank Price, in all honesty, right? And he said, because you raised the price, I could raise the price, right? And so that in Provo, you guys have Provo Beach to compete against. I don't know if you think of them as competition or not, but you have Provo Beach to. So what do you guys charge for a single game of laser tag?
We're $8.
$8. Okay. What's Provo Beach charging? Any idea? And I'm not saying keep up with the
I
Joneses.
think they're about 7 or 8.
Okay,
They're
fair
also,
enough.
I mean, it's a 10-minute game for them. Again, we have extremely long games. We're giving out 20-minute games.
When you say game, are we talking door to score? Or are we talking in the arena?
Yeah, we're talking about game start time.
Games,
20 minutes. Game
but
run.
how much time in the arena?
20 minutes is game run.
You're insane.
Yes.
Are they
Oh, seriously? Yeah, I hope I'm not offending you when I say that, but yeah, so, but we do, and door to score, by the way, is not my phrase, I stole that.
We're doing this, so, you know, we're learning this convention.
Come talk to us, yeah, so talk to, I mean,
You know.
cause you guys are 10, 12 minutes, 12 minutes in the arena.
All right, well, 10 minutes would be $12.
10 minutes for $12, right, 10
But
minutes
he's in that
the
other
arena.
country. He's in that other country.
Yes, he is. No, I know. No, I'm counting because that steak that I'm going to get is not going to be cheap. How much arena time?
10 minutes.
10 minutes arena, which is great. How much for a game of laser tag? For
$12.
how much?
It's like $12.50 like before tax.
Do you work there? Do you you don't even know it? Okay. You're really fulfilling my 70s style of you, like, dude, how much is game of tag? I don't know, dude. How long have you been here? Oh, a while. So I'm liking you guys. All right. What are you guys charging in your small market of California?
$8, 12 minutes.
So, 12 minutes arena time.
12 minutes arena time.
12 minutes arena.
Was the $5 soft drink unlimited normal?
Hey, don't be giving out my secrets. All right, so what's Kevin, and again, I hope you guys see in this industry, really, I hope you become friends, right? So what Kevin doing is teasing me, rightfully so, and yes, I think it's fantastic. How do I give away unlimited soft drink? Because I don't buy Coke or Pepsi. I get a 5-gallon bag in the box from Webstron, and it's called Narvon. So my bag in the box, 5-gallon bag in the box, delivered is $48. Coke and Pepsi want $110. So can I give away unlimited soft drink? All day long. All day long. I can give away unlimited soft drink because it's dirt cheap. Cost me next to nothing. So thank you though.
I'll take a Dr. Moore next time.
Yeah, so they have these really generic names like Dr. Moore or Sunshine Twist. Things like they've got these really weird names. But you know what? If you're 7 and you get a pitcher of root beer, you don't know. You don't know if it's mugs or if it's, I don't even know what the root beer version is called for. Let's just call it Narvon root beer. But they don't know, right? And you know what? The sweaty teenagers, they don't know either. They come in like, yeah, I'll get a Dr. Pepper. And we don't even argue with them. We're like, all right, we'll get you Dr. Pepper. Pour some Dr. Moore. I am not saying you should do what I do. Because I just cut your soft drink bill in half. How much you spend thousands of dollars a year. I've been to your facility how many times over the years?
$1,000 every week.
Yeah, right? So do it with some obviously, some fun with that. But yeah, we do give away soft. But again, going back to pricing, obviously we can't recommend pricing. I know some antitrust laws that exist or something like that. But really, most of you guys are in the right area. It's interesting because Jared's been coming to these for years. Is it interesting to see how the rates are going up though over time? We are charging more as an experience.
Yeah, it used to be $5.50 for us.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the industry thought $7 of laser tag, $7 per game was a lot, so. All right, so while we've been chatting, someone secretly whispered to me that we need to wrap this up because our event ends at 5 o'clock.